and welcome to our kitchen. My name's Max Thomas, and this here is my chef, Trent Schulte, and today we are here to show you the science of baking bread and using yeast effectively. Let's get started.
Making some Amish white bread for you folks out there. So as you can take a look here, I've got the ingredients. We're going to start with 2 cups of warm water, add a 2/3 cup of white sugar. We'll then mix in the yeast, and then from there we also are going to be using 1½ teaspoons of salt, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and 6 cups of bread flour.
First step again, you said, Trent, was to dissolve our sugar in our warm water. Is that correct?
That is correct. Go ahead and pour it right in the bowl. And in she goes. As you can see there, we have sugar and water, and we're going to continue to stir that until it's dissolved. Great job, Max. It's really starting to dissolve. That's what we like to see.
Look at that solution. Nothing like a good solution.
Absolutely.
Positively.
Now that we have successfully dissolved the sugar into this water, we're going to be adding 1½ tablespoons of active dry yeast.
Oh, it's a good thing I got my yeast here, Trent.
Absolutely.
Oh, would you look at that? There's
And
1
she
tablespoon,
goes.
and you said 1 1/2. Oh,
Go ahead and grab that ½ tablespoon, scoop it up, and pour it right on in, Max.
I will do just that. Let me find my ½ tablespoon here.
Yep.
There we are. This is a.
She smells like yeast, I'll tell you that. And there's your half. That's just going to make the bread nice and fluffy, Max.
Oh, it will. It will.
So, Max, I'm looking over at this bowl here, and what I see inside is a lot different of a product than when we first poured the yeast in. All we've done is just sit here and watch it, and it's really just changing actively in front of our eyes. You know, I'm really wondering, I'm trying to research it, and I don't quite understand what is happening in that bowl right now with the yeast.
Well, Trent, let me tell you, the yeast here has enzymes in it because it is itself a single living organism.
You're telling me that yeast is a living organism?
Yeast, when in contact, it is dormant, but when it becomes in contact with warm water, it regenerate and is a living organism that has enzymes inside it that attack the large starches in the sugar that we poured into that water, breaking them down into simple sugars.
Question, when you say attack meaning breaking them down?
Breaking them down.
Breaking
Exactly.
them down into what types of simple sugars?
To
Glucose? Or?
Glucose, exactly, Trent. Glucose.
Glucose.
Because glucose is a vital part to making our bread here that we are getting around to in just a second after our yeast finishes doing its attacking.
So here's what I'm wondering. If you've got glucose molecules,
Glucose molecules.
when heat is added to that system,
Heat.
why does the bread become fluffy if it's just glucose molecules?
Well, it's not just glucose molecules, Trent. That's the crazy thing. Yeast exudes a liquid, okay, that contains CO2 and ethyl alcohol. That creates air pockets in the bread, which provides the fluffiness and the airiness to bread, whereas glucose provides the structure around those air pockets.
So you're telling me that when heat is added to glucose, there's a decomposition reaction, and C6H12O6 breaks into, what did you say it was?
I believe
CO2.
Yes.
And CO2 is what makes the bread fluffy. Pockets of air, CO2 pockets.
CO2
Correct.
pockets. CO2 pockets, Trent.
So that's why yeast is so important in bread making, and that's why they say yeast makes the dough rise.
Yeast makes the dough rise.
Oh yeah. You know what they say? Classic saying.
Classic.
Yeast doesn't only make the dough rise; it makes the dough rise. If you know what I'm saying.
Oh, Trent, you goon.
You know. Well, I think this segment's over.
Yes, sir. So, Trent, after sitting there a while and talking it over, doing some research, I am now confident that we are doing this right, because the reaction we are talking about has obviously taken place inside of our bowl here, resulting in a white frothy liquid that we are now going to add what to?
Max, hold on first. I want to just point out, that's not really white, that's more of a cream color.
Oh! Well, I should really go over my colors more.
Anyways, what are we going to do next?
Well, I believe, Trent, you told me earlier we were going to add a 4th cup of vegetable oil along with 1.5 teaspoons of salt.
Salt, baby.
So I will just go ahead and add this 4th cup of vegetable oil in there.
And some salt.
And that is actually just teaspoons, so we're going to add another half of that in there.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
Just about half. We'll just wing it.
See, that's just cooking instincts there, huh?
Man, after you've been doing this for years, you have a feeling. Alright, so next, Trent.
Should we stir this a little bit?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'd say we should stir this.
Man, you are just one bright cookie, if I must say myself.
So as I'm stirring this here, my buddy Max is going to be getting a cup of flour. And we're going to one by one add some flour in here to thicken it up, and you're really just going to start to see more of a traditional dough, you know? If you've worked with pizza, you've seen pizza dough, bread dough, whatever.
Cookie dough, my
the
favorite.
flour is really going to start to make
The flour.
this look like dough.
And no, it is not flours like these. It is flour. F-L-O-U-R.
No W.
No W. No W.
All right.
You ready for our first one here? Wow, that is just bubbling away.
Yeah, bubbles.
Bubbles. Oh. Give her a pat. Smack her, Trent.
Yeah. All right. Flour, and we're mixing away.
Mixing away.
Mixing
away on the sea.
I feel much more confident.
What were you saying there, Trent? Sorry.
I was going to say that I feel much more confident with the bowl in my arm in this cradle position.
Oh, like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because the bread is your baby, Trent.
Mm-hmm.
Always treat the bread as your baby.
I care more about the chemistry side of this project than the bread. I can't wait to see what kind of reaction we're going to have here today.
Oh, man. You just read my mind. You ready for round 2?
I'm not sure. Maybe we should cut.
Whoa!
Just like that, after adding a little bit of flour, we have a product that looks like dough. All right.
All right. I say we get around to kneading this bad boy, Trent.
Let's get this baby on the wood and just start
we need
kneading it.
We need it to make some bread.
Absolutely.
That's right, yeah.
All right. So, what you see Max doing here is kneading the bread. This is important because the more you knead, the more CO2 pockets you're going to create. In other words, the less you knead, the more dense your bread will be, not as fluffy, not as good.
Oh, it's delicious. See there, Trent, you got some pretty big muscles. You want to take a shot at it?
Well, I guess so. Get in, get some flour on my hands.
Get some flour all over your hands.
Get it all over it.
All over.
And just beat it up.
Beat it up. Yes.
In the words of 2 Chainz.
2 chains.
Beat it up.
But you're only wearing 1 chain, Trent, so...
I'm wearing a chain. You want to pull that out of my shirt?
No, I will... Oh, my hands are a little sticky.
Never mind. I'll get back to the meeting. Excuse us for that.
We are making bread. Yeah.
Making bread.
Bread.
Max,
Bread.
friendly advice here. I am your friend. I want you to know you should never go up and try to hit that note again.
Oh, I'm sorry, Trent. You know, it just... Sometimes making bread really gets to you.
Yeah.
It hits your soul.
Really just trying to make as many CO2 pockets as we possibly can.
CO2 pockets, Trent. You know, honestly, you know what the meaning of life is, Trent? You ever wonder that question? What is the meaning of life? You just go around your everyday life. Well, let me tell you, Trent. CO2 pockets, Trent. That is the meaning of life.
Max, you want to spread some flour on this board?
Oh, let me get some
Shout
flour. And that is flour with an F-L-O-U-R, not F-L-O-W.
No W. Get it on there.
No W.
Shout out to 8th grade home ec. Reflower the board, baby.
Miss Fulgen, we love you. Long live.
Beat it up. Beat it up.
Beat it. Beat it. Beat it.
Beat it. Beat it. Woohoo! Alright, you split it up.
Well, I would put that in there and then we'll split it up later.
Okay.
So, now we're about to just let this dough rise a little bit. Let the yeast do its thing, you know, like we were saying earlier. Just start attacking.
You know, there's a lot of people that are good cooks. They're good in the kitchen.
Good in the
But
kitchen.
they have no patience.
No patience.
Yeah. A damp cloth.
Damp cloth.
Where can I find a damp cloth, Max?
Wow, I'm trying to find a damp cloth. Right here. And then you just gotta cover that damp cloth and
What makes the cloth damp?
Well, Trent, to dampen the cloth, you take some water and you just...
I would make that wet with some H2O.
H2O, which is 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen.
2 hydrogens, 1 part oxygen.
Thank you, Mr. Lessie.
A lot of oil.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, we're gonna say I'm good.
Dampened cloth. Let it sit.
It's well oiled.
She's gonna rise, baby.
She's gonna rise.
Oh, Max, I think it's been about 45 minutes, and I wonder if the yeast has done anything to the bread. Any reaction sort of taking place?
Why don't we check it out, Trent?
Whoa! Jeez!
Would you look at that? She is just
Doubled in size, maybe tripled.
oh my lord.
Good.
I bet there are so many CO2 bubbles in there.
This is going to be some fluffy bread,
letting her
Max.
rise. Alright. I say we punch her down like the recipe says. Punch her back down.
Punch it
Knead her a little bit more.
Get her out, get some flour on that.
Get her out, get some flour on it. And then shape her into some loaves. Throw them in the pans, let them rise, and then throw them in the oven.
Alright, let's do it.
Let's do it, let's do it. Alright, so she's going to take this. I think we're just going to...
Wait, you want to punch it first, or...?
punch it. Here, I'll hold. Oh, whoa. Whoa, punching. Like
Don't worry, I washed my hands.
Punch, punch, punch.
Oh, yeah. Caught my finger.
That's a good punch, alright.
Yeah.
She's quite oily.
That's really well oiled. You did a good job with the oil.
Throw some flour on there. Might as well, you know. Never hurts to have some flour. I like flour.
Oh, yeah. This feels even better in my hands than before it rose.
Of course it
I
does.
can really feel the CO2 molecules.
CO2.
Pockets, excuse me. Pockets.
CO2.
I say that's the right amount of flour. To be honest, it feels pretty good. How about we
Divide her in half there.
Break
Divide
it
and
up.
conquer. Divide and conquer. There's about half there. It looks about half. Just knead her some more. Knead her some more. Get some more flour on here, like we were saying earlier. Never. Oh Lord, does she smell good? Smell this, Trent. Yes.
Max, did I just die and go to heaven?
Yes, you did, Trent. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Out of body experience.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I say we. Once we're done, just keep kneading her a little bit. Just a little bit, Yeah, work the knuckles
Just
on there.
take a little bit of yours.
I'm just stealing my slice of heaven, Trent.
I say we shape this into the bread pans.
Shape it, shape it.
Some dough on that sucker. Swing around here. We're just gonna get it in here. And just kind of shape it.
Shape it just like the pan there. Let her sit. We're gonna let her sit there. Rise in the pan a little bit, and then we're gonna throw her in the oven.
Oven's preheated to 350,
350.
and we will show you the result
Right after this.
in 30 minutes. We've let the dough rise for 30 minutes in the
Right.
pans.
Nice, looking good, looking kind of like bread. I say we just throw them in the oven, let them bake a little bit, see what we get.
Let's do it. Throw ahead. I'll go right next door.
Right next door. Howdy, neighbor.
There it is, 30 minutes to go.
And here we go, setting the timer. Setting the timer for
30. That's a great timer. Boom.
30 minutes. Huh, would you look at that? The bread is ready. Oh man. Is that looking good? The yeast must have done its job.